Okay. Today, guest currently resides in Las Vegas, but his history is out of California. Started out of Sacramento, right? Then we went to the Bay Area, then the Southern California, and of course now out of Las Vegas. And he's a key member of the world-renowned Jabbawockeez, and I'm super, super proud to call him my little brother.
Yeah.
As a part of the Jedi clan Mindtricks Jabbawockeez family.
Yeah.
He's also known as the Tao of Beat Kune. I love that name.
That's what's up.
And of course, the world knows him as KB of the Jabbawockeez. Welcome to the show, my brother.
Thank you, bro. I'm blessed. I'm so humbled by just this opportunity, bro. This is dope, man.
Man, you deserve all the praises. You deserve all the everything that you earn, because I know how hard you work. And but today I want to dive into your history, of course, with the Jabbawockeez. But before that, so we're going to dive into that. Of course, we're going to talk about our mentors and our your influences. The people that you dance with, the people that influence you. All right. So let's take you back, man. Let's take you back. Started, with in Sacramento. Right. Is that where you were born?
So I was born in Long Beach, California. At a super young age, I was still in my single digits. My family moved. My parents are originally from Sacramento, so they moved back to Sac. And I grew up pretty much there, but I was born in California. So I'm a Cali boy, though,
Right. So Sacramento, tell us your first memory of how you got really interested in dance, and how, who, how, when, all that stuff.
Right. Man, I got to tell you, I'm sure I share a lot of these inspirations with a lot of dancers in the world. Big love Michael Jackson, king of pop, bro. Of course, just him, his dance ability. And then, just on the surface level, you see Michael Jackson, you want to try to mimic the moves. I'm 3 years old, so my family's telling me that I've been, inspired by Michael Jackson, that 3-year-old, doing it at the little family parties or whatnot. And then, as you progress, grow up, break in, beat street, those, then I'm just kind of like super crash course through it. Mr. Wiggles being, Poppin' P, just seeing the movies and seeing like Poppin' Taco, those guys that's in there. And I'm later finding these names out. I didn't know it at the time, right? But later finding out that these individuals were specifically Poppin' Taco was like super influential on Michael Jackson. So it was just like, oh snap, you know what I mean? Like I was kind of getting a redirect or a second-hand inspiration of Poppin' Taco from Michael Jackson, which, I mean, I don't want to like underrate Michael Jackson, because man, that boy, he knew how to absorb and put out like amazing. So, but yeah, it was the street dance, that type of thing. Plus, I had cousins that danced, neighborhood kids that was into it. I started off, doing the Michael Jackson thing, but at some point in time, I started practicing breaking because I wanted to be a part of this crew in high school. So I started learning how to break. So that's definitely in my foundation. And then, like I said, I kind of jumping around, but like after a while, what really made me like start focusing on the popping was seeing Mr. Wiggles, man. Being able to get my hands on a tape or like any kind of footage of him, like, bro, he's really influenced me. And this is like I said, my younger years progress. Dancing's always been something that I did. I did it in high school with the little school dance team. And then outside of high school, did a little bit of college, but at the same time, gathered with like-minded people, started fellowship and dancing. Then getting the opportunity to go out to the Bay because, you know,
Yeah.
got with the local Sac Town group called Kaboom
Yeah.
Squad. Then we started moving around, breaking the borders of Sac and getting out to the Bay Area. And then that's when we seen the Mindtricks, bro. And that's when we seen G1, Randy.
Yeah.
I saw you actually sometimes too. Like, I saw what you represented to me was the pinnacle of like dedication to your craft. You know, later finding out that Skeeter Rabbit was one of your mentors made so much sense. Like, as I think back to my first interaction seeing you, I was like, man, this bro, when you told me about popping the neck and you showed me that, I was like, whoa, that's how I knew you was on something else, because that wasn't coming, you know what I mean? We wasn't getting that just by watching TV. That
Right.
really
Right.
came from you being able to fellowship with an OG like Skeeter, you know? So I'm sure. And so that information got passed down to me. And so that's a part of my DNA also. You get what I mean? And when we talk about influence, as I was talking to Randy, and he
Yeah.
was telling me how, you know, he watched Jam on the Groove and how that, you know, changed his perspective about things. And then another secondhand type of inspiration, watching the Mindtricks, realizing that there was some inspiration that he drew from there to move it in that direction. I was just like, oh, it makes sense.
Yep.
Like, you know, and I feel like Jabbawockeez is just a continuation of the Mindtricks. You know, I
Yeah.
personally feel that way,
Yeah.
because, you know, we all, yeah, it's just like, you know, things have its iterations, and the legacy, the generation comes on being, you know, influenced heavily by G after having an opportunity to spend a significant amount of time with him. The mentoring that he gave me, not just like, you know, from the dance game, but just like, you know, knowing your worth. You get what I mean? So he put all of us on in a huge way. And so yeah, that's kind of like a crash course of my history, bro. Michael
For sure.
Jackson, Poppin' Pete, Poppin' Taco, Mr. Wiggles, a little bit of Bruce Lee in there, Mindtricks,
Right.
D1, and now I'm here. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's a really, really quick crash course, as you
Yep.
said. But let me go a little bit deeper. All right.
Yep.
So as when you first started, well, actually, let's do this. Did
Mhm.
your family dance?
My
Like,
mom, my mom actually was like the one that was open to dancing. My mom and my auntie, like my auntie, she was from out of state, and anytime she came
uh-huh.
to visit, that's all she wanted to do was just throw on the jams, Bell Bib DeVoe, and learn the dances
Okay.
that me and my sister knew how to do. You know, I never
Okay.
seen my dad do a two-step in my life. I never seen him bob his head to no music, but he was the one that was really, I feel like there's two halves of me, the musical side, the one that
Uh-huh.
appreciates music. I got that from my dad, and the love for dance, I got that from my mom. But you already know they
Mm.
correlate.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, my list or my playlist, you know, what I'm into, heavily influenced by my father. And then, like I said, my mom, she was the one that really, you know, dancing wasn't a weird thing. It wasn't like, oh, that's girly or that's not cool. It's just
Yeah.
something that we did at the house, and it wasn't weird, you know.
And you said your sister. So this
I
is
have a sister,
your older sister,
my younger sister. Yeah,
younger sister.
yep,
And what's
like
the
3
age
years.
difference between you guys?
She's 3 years younger than I am.
Okay. So did you
Yep.
guys like do routines together?
We did the stuff that was on TV together. Like, remember the time when they had the? I mean, we weren't
Uh-huh.
dancing together like that, but like when we had the, like, you know, the Buddha Stretch little pieces. Which, shout out Buddha Stretch. I didn't know it was him until later on,
Yeah.
and I just like
Yeah.
all these people have like really influenced me. And I didn't even. I just now remembering that Buddha Stretch was
Yeah.
definitely after seeing Remember the Time, and then, you know, Mariah Carey's how they had the mop tops in the
Yeah.
Dream Lover, that video.
Yeah.
All that stuff, bro, like is a part of
Yeah.
the upbringing. But yeah, my family, they musical and dancing from mom and
Cool.
dad and my sister.
All right. So let's stay in Sac because
Yep.
Kaboom, you mentioned Kaboom.
Uh-huh.
Now, how did that form? And of course, tell us about the anagram, what it's for, who came up with that.
Oh yeah. You know what? In terms of like, so that group was established already. I danced with, prior to me getting on Kaboom, I was with this group called Absolute Madness. And this is like, I want to say I was right out of high school. I saw, you know, Joseph, my bestie, the second brain of the creator of the Jabberwocky thing. I had been dancing with him, and then I decided to take a little hiatus and work, and just kind of do the serious career type of thing. And
And this
then
is
after
out of
some,
high school? After
this
high
is
school?
after this is after high school. Yeah, I
Okay.
went back to do like a showcase for the school, and Absolute Madness did a showcase there also. And when I saw it, I was like, oh shoot, that's my boy Joe, right? And so, naturally, I was like, yo, man, y'all are dope. Let me get down. So got part of the group and started, fellowshipping. But then, some time, man, we did some showcases or whatnot local. And then some time went on, group kind of separated for a bit. And then after a while had worked for a bit, and then I just went to go visit a friend of mine, Raleigh Sullivan, and he was going out to the Bay Area to support Joe and Kaboom because we were all friends, right?
Yeah.
And so he went out, I went with him, and then I saw Kaboom getting down at in the Bay Area. I think it was what is it called, City Nights, Harrison Street or something like that.
City Nights
I
in
think
San
that's what
Francisco.
San Francisco. Yeah, that's where they
Okay.
did a little thing over there. And man, I was like, whoa, this group is dope. So just getting reconnected with Joe connected me with the Kaboom Squad, and then that's where I got a part of that. They asked me to be a part of it, but it stands for Crazy A Brothers of Original Motion.
Okay. Right.
KABOOM. Keep
Right.
it PG. But yeah, man,
Right.
and that was fun. I think that really did help level me up as performing wise, doing choreography, because that was kind of a new thing. You know what I mean? Like learning other people's moves and maybe even coming
Yeah.
up some stuff on my own. So that was
Right.
very
Right.
interesting.
Now, just to add to that, because the first time I heard Kaboom, it was very similar to Boom Squad.
Yes.
And at the time, I was already dancing with Gary, and he had Boom Squad out of Santa Cruz.
Yes.
So it was really cool to hear, oh, Kaboom. The pride inside is like, oh, who is this? Kaboom.
Yeah, who is
like
this Boom?
It's kind of like
yeah.
try to be Boom or whatever,
Yeah,
but of course, when we saw you guys, it was like, yo, this is like, little Mindtricks,
Yeah.
So
that's so funny. I appreciate. I'll take that as a compliment, bro. Because man,
for sure,
Mindtricks, bro, y'all were like, I mean, eventually Joseph and I and Phil, we got down with the group, but like prior to that, man, like I think in my personal opinion, I think the way that people kind of look at Jabbawockeez now is the way that I personally looked at the Mindtricks, man. Like I couldn't wait to see the next little routine and what y'all was doing musically and just with y'all routines. And so definitely a heavy influence. And like you said, with the whole Boom Squad, we later learned about, G Squad, Boom Squad. I was like, oh shoot. Boom Squad is just like, sometimes their minds think alike,
Right. Now, as far as what I understood, like you, I wasn't original Boom Squad, because original Boom Squad, they were the girls out of Santa Cruz, and they hired G to teach them, to be their mentor, and I came on afterwards. And this is from Carmela, so shout out to Carmela if you're watching this later.
Carmela, what's up, sis? That's dope.
She mentioned that it was because he, instead of counting, he would say boom, crack, boom, boom, crack. He would say boom.
Yeah.
And that kind of made the essence of that squad.
Oh.
Thus they called it boom, Boom Squad, because it was out of him using sound effects to count. So
I appreciate that history. That's dope, bro.
Yeah. A lot of these kind of like, it makes sense when you hear about it. Oh, that's why it's there, because a lot of these has some intelligence behind it. Nobody just made up a name just because whatever,
Yes.
But like maybe some groups out there does, but most of the time there's some sort of intelligence behind it.
Yeah, there's some thought process behind. Yeah.
Right. So anyways, I just want to add that because Kaboom Squad, it reminded me of back in the days with Boom Squad.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. And then let's carry forward, because I don't remember the transition when you three joined us, and it was great because it was we got fresh blood, right? We got fresh energy, because I feel like at the time before you guys joined, I think we probably hit a little bit. I don't want to say a plateau, but we did hit a little bit because like we were doing car shows,
Yeah.
we were doing some competitions here. You know, there were some gigs. I don't know if you did the Pepsi commercial. I didn't do the Pepsi commercial.
I didn't do the Pepsi commercial, but I remember that whole that was like such a big deal. I mean, for me too, just being a fan, I was like, whoa, these guys is in Pepsi.
Yeah, I was kind of pissed because I didn't get to do that one. But but yeah, I think around then it was a transition. It was like another rejuvenation, you know.
Yeah.
So tell us about that, what it was like for you, you know, because you guys had to travel from Sacramento to the Bay. Now, for those that don't know the geology, it's about a 3-4 hour drive or something like that, right?
Man, we used to mob out that way. Like, am I good? Can you still hear me?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, we used to mob out that way. Like, I was working at the little AT&T call center, and on my days off, it was like the night of my day off. We was like the last day of my work week, you know, we would mob out to Mindtricks practice, drive a few hours, dance all night, be inspired, and then just mob back to the crib like afterwards. Sun be coming up sometimes when we would get back home, bro. And yeah, that was such a huge I think that was very a big point for me, you know, personally in my career and just my trajectory and my growth and whatnot. You know, at the time, G and Randy weren't so active. I think G was kind of moving around. But it was such an honor to carry the mantle of the name because of what y'all do. And sometimes people say, like, you know, don't ever meet your heroes because they can let you down. That was not the case when it came to the Mindtricks. Like, shout out Ron Lacerna, Alexis, you know, John Ray John. Like, man, those brothers like really made us feel welcome. You know, there was it just was dope. I remember and being at Alexis, there was a Christmas party. I think I told you about this. There was a Christmas party at Alexis's house. And I think that's really kind of like what helped us kind of start to really get to become a part of the group is when we showed up, fellowship with you guys, and then I think it just kind of organically happened. We just got invited to go out, and then we just started rocking. And because we had did like this collaborative thing, Mindtricks, Kaboom Squad, and I want to say Alan Frias, the group that Alan Frias was in.
Mind Over Matter.
That one. Mind Over Matter. We did like this 3-way collaboration, and then eventually it kind of, my memory is just like, you know, it's been so long ago, but yeah, that's right. Kind of, I think it was during that time, all that stuff, and the opportunity was dope. We didn't mind the distance because we dancing with the Mindtricks, and you know, Ron did his thing to even help us get paid sometimes, which was, you know, it was just like, we got a gig that pays tight. Let's show up. That was kind of the cherry on top. And so, but yeah, my whole experience with being a part of the Mindtricks was so it was dope, bro. And it really it's near and dear to my heart. And I think that was also another level for me to continue moving forward. Because then, you know, after that, I moved out to San Diego, and that's where like the game like super just kind of changed for me.
Yeah, let's talk about that because you know, that's a whole nother I want to say chapter probably, right, in your life, because same with me as well, right? Because when we go down to Southern California, we're probably talking about Culture Shock family.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about that. Like, what was it like when you first moved down? Who'd you move down with? By yourself? A couple of other guys?
Yeah, it was just at first it was my sister and I. We prior to the move, we had started fellowshipping through the Mindtricks. You know, our connection with being Mindtricks and G, and you like you're actually one of the individuals that was a part of that whole fellowship. You know what I mean? Like one night we came out from SAC to Dance Attack. You guys were there. Culture Shock San Diego was there, and there was this huge it was after hours. And the whole studio was just all of us, bro. In every single room, there was just like something different going on. You were popping with Anna. I remember that. We were in one room with Belle and Rainin and G, and then who was not, well, the girl that would end up being my wife, Cher, she was in there too. And then, yeah, I just remember that time, super dope. And I think that's where it started the first relationship with Culture Shock. So then now we
Mm-hmm.
went down to San
Mm-hmm.
Diego to participate in a show, started making friends. And
Yeah.
then eventually I was like, yo, man, I love this city. Like it's the city really spoke to me, bro. And so I
Now,
followed my heart.
before you went down there, was there a
Yep.
reason? Did you get a job down there, or
I did not.
it was just like I want to be with these people?
That's more what it was. I felt the love and I felt the energy. But see, I
Mm-hmm.
had a friend who had his name's Brian's a super dope graphic artist. Went away for college, and we would keep in touch from time to time. And he said, "Yo, Kev, you got to get out of Sac, bro, because it's just stagnant here. For somebody like you, it's just
Mm-hmm.
stagnant." I really remember him saying something like that. And me, I'm not thinking about leaving Sac at all, bro. Like I was about to be there till I got old, you know. I knew every
Yeah.
inch of it. But then after fellowshipping with San Diego and then just, talking to my buddy and the inspiration that he gave to me, I just started kind of looking at Sac like, yeah, maybe it is time for me to leave the nest. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
go out into the world and challenge myself. And so I didn't even have a job going down there, bro. I just followed my heart, the universe,
Yeah.
whatever it was, bro.
But what
And
about your sister though? Did she have a job, or she just like, hey, I'll
she
support you?
she didn't have a job. She was just coming to be a part of the action. You know what I mean? She
Mm.
was like she's like I said, we dance too, right? And she dance coming up too. And so like the opportunity for her to be on Culture Shock was present, and so
Ah.
she ended
Mm.
up making the team as well as I did make the team. We had different experiences, but I think we both felt like the people here loved us. And that was kind of tight because my
Yeah.
sister was like kind of living her own life one way and I was going another way. But then it was through this dance that we actually was able to kind of spend some more significant time aside from when we grew up. You know what I mean? After
Yeah.
high school, my sister was just a roommate. You know what I mean? I saw from time to time at the house.
Yeah.
But this really did, put us in the position to really become just her and I. We first lived with Rainin. He opened up his house to us,
Mm.
so we had a little
Mm-hmm.
room there that we shared. Then we got our own apartment, and then all that stuff kind of evolved. But yeah, man, it was a love for the people, the city, the energy that I felt, and then eventually, like I got a job to hold it down. You know what I mean? I worked at a what was it, Verizon. I worked at Verizon for a bit. Then went
That's funny
into
because you
yeah.
mentioned AT&T
Yep.
prior to that, right?
Yes, I did.
So
I
so
think
you
that's
love
what
the
helped.
telecom.
Yeah, it's telecom. Yeah, exactly. Crazy,
That's
man.
dope. That's dope. Now, okay, before we move on to, how Jabberwocky
Mm-hmm.
got involved with MTV and all that stuff, I
Oh
do
yeah.
want to share a little clip here. This is one of
Okay.
the I I mean, if anybody out there is listening, if you just do a search on YouTube for KB Jabberwocky, you're gonna find tons of stuff.
Hmm.
And there are so many stuff. But
Yeah.
I think this one, it wasn't too long ago.
Okay.
I don't know if you could see this one. Can you see this one right
Let me
now?
see. It's just a blank
Uh,
screen. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
is
Oh
it
yeah.
coming
Yeah.
up?
Yeah. Yeah. That was the
Okay.
yeah, the little
Yeah. Okay.
Airbnb. Yeah.
So I'm gonna play this. However, I'm probably gonna mute this because of
No
the
worries.
copyrighted stuff.
Copy that.
But you could probably you. I mean, these are most of the Jabberwockies that are there. And what year is this? You remember?
This is just before COVID. This is 2019.
Okay.
This was like the summertime. Well, actually the end of summertime because we were out in Los Angeles because of we had this little obligation to Universal Studios, or just felt not obligation. It was a contract for work. It was basically
Okay.
work. And Universal Studios, they do Halloween Horror Nights. And
Ah.
so the prep time starts. We actually start like the pre-production, all that stuff starts in July, and then we
Mm-hmm.
work up until August. We moved out to, or we went out to Los Angeles to oversee the job in August. So we were there from August, September, October till like the middle of November, and that's how long the run is. And
Mm.
basically they wanted us to do like a 20-minute 22-minute interaction for the clientele that goes throughout the park. and they didn't want it to be, they wanted to be like a palate cleanser. So like it's Halloween Horror Night, so you walk around the theme park, everything's themed in horror, and then you go to like their little sound stage where we played, and then it was just kind of, you sit down, rest your legs, and then you kind of laugh at these little goofy masked characters that's doing some dances, trying to tell you a little story in 22 minutes. So this was an Airbnb that we all stayed at during that time, and you know, just fellowshipping and celebrating our friendship and just dancing together.
That's dope. At first, I was like, "Whose house is this,
Oh
man?"
yeah, it was like,
I'm
man,
like, "What?"
Jabbawockeez is balling. No,
I
Airbnb,
know. All right, but I think I fast forward to the part where this is just you. So I
Okay.
guess you could talk through it because I'm gonna mute the sound.
Okay.
So this is you getting down. For everybody, I'm gonna pause it for one second. For everybody out there, just do a search, KBDs, and you'll find us. Or maybe type in freestyle dance without mask. You should be able to find this. Amazing get downs, not just with KB, but every single one of the members, they got down. This entire 8-minute, 13-second clip is full of just great dancing. So, all right, I'm gonna unpause it. Go ahead, KB, take it from here.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, like, all of those individuals influenced by G, whether it be first hand or second hand. Some of the newer guys definitely second hand because they were able to get a taste of G through us. But if you see, man, like, yeah, I got my own little flavor, and I can't really, I told you this too, like I can't really like say it's all just from my brain. I'm a collection of all the inspiration and influences ever I've been blessed to, that's been bestowed upon my life, man. It's my lens, my interpretation, right? But like a lot of what I do really is like an inspiration of me coming up and the people that poured into me, whether directly or indirectly. And so, G was like a master at collapsing. He was a master at, flipping from one style to the next. Like he had different, modalities that he could just flip through. You want floor work, cool. You want to stay up, tight. What you want, house popping, locking, what you want. And he could do it all. So that really opened up my mind. And then in terms of like, like the control type stuff, that's all from the popping. That's all from, labbing in that space. And with music, bro, I think I don't want to say, like, I would say that music, the way that I hear it, for me, I don't know how to express it to another person to where they understand how it's coming into my ears. I personally feel like it's a mutant ability. It's like when I hear a song, it just gets imprinted on my brain. And then having the, like, doing music production as a hobby and seeing how these different sounds, the drum kick, the piano, the guitar, all these different levels are just, music is flattened to one thing. You got the vocals, but then in production, it's actually different tracks. And so when you can hear the music and separate those tracks, then now you have those different tracks that you can kind of articulate. Maybe I just want to stick with the drums, and then maybe I'll flow into the melody, and maybe I'll flow into like the rhythm of the guitar or whatever. But first of all, I'm always listening to a lot of music. So I think my brain and my ears been trained to just absorb the data and then, compartmentalize. Okay, that's the drums, that's a hit. Oh, what is the pattern? Oh, I hear that this little snare happens here, here, here. Okay, tight. So my brain's digesting that. As soon as I have that mathematics locked into my brain, now it's time to translate that information from my mind into my body. And so now we're starting to kind of straddle or traverse the area of the martial arts. This is where the martial arts comes in, because now I'm training my mind and my body. The reaction time between thought and action is just, I'm trying to minimize that. So now all I'm doing is just using my ears to get the music into my brain, and my brain saying, okay, boom, boom, cack, boom, 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 cack. And then I've trained my body to the point where I'm just like, my body says, all right, dope, I get it. Let me just be free, So in some ways, I feel like I'm being taken on a ride when I'm going through my flow, because I'm just really tuned into the music. And then sometimes I'm actively like trying to sharpen my skill, and I'm very present with the mechanics of my movement. And that's really how I train. And It's just because, man, G was like, he was like, bro,
Yeah.
if somebody comes at you with some sets, what you gonna do? Just freestyle the whole time? So it's just like there was a level of training that I felt he was like he did. You know, he had his sets, but he also knew how to put them together, whether it was a long piece or a short piece. He just
Yeah.
had these little nuggets or these Legos that he put together. But then for the most part, my man would just get loose. And being like that has been my inspiration, you know, even to this day. Like G is he's like like if this was a movie, like I could see G, you know what I mean? Like the people can't see G, but I'm like having dialogue as we all are. I'm sure
Right.
you have the same you actually, I remember you telling me about your relationship with G, and so I'm sure there's a huge amount of like you could probably like hear his voice in your head sometimes when you're, you know, doing things. And that's how it is for me too.
That's perfect, man.
Yeah.
It's so good that you share that. And let me move to one of the bigger moments, I think, in I guess in history, in television dance history, right? When America's Best Dance Crew, you know, MTV,
Yep.
and did G start with you guys, or was he already sick at that time?
So he was sick. He had actually passed away by that time when we got on the show. And he, so you know, bro, like he was the only reason why we got on that show. We would not have done it if it wasn't for G telling us like, "Hey man, we got something special. We got the ability to change the world." You know, he was looking forward to this show, this audition, and the squad. He was supposed to be on the squad, but
Yeah.
unfortunately he fell sick and that didn't work. And
Right.
we were debating, you know, we're at the audition and we're like, man, do we even want to do this? So
Yeah.
we made it through, and then we decided, you know what, G believed in it,
Yeah.
so let's see it through the end. And even in the
Yeah.
hardest times, like there was, because we were sequestered for a couple months, we couldn't have. And I just had my son was like pretty much brand new, like he was about 1 years old, you know.
Yeah.
And I had to go and represent, and it was tough because I wanted to be with my family, but
Yeah.
yet, you know, just remembering and having this why, having this reason
Yeah.
that was outside of myself. It wasn't selfish reasons at all. Like I love that man so much. He inspired my life. The least I could do is, you know, continue the legacy or continue what we started, you know,
Sure.
and
Yeah.
see it to whatever it is that he thought that he saw for it. It's like I'm gonna just keep moving until it becomes that.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I gotta say all praises for, you know, putting G in our lives, because like I said, it would be a completely different story. Well, if he was on the show, we would have won that for sure. We still would have won. It's no problem. But I'm just saying, like, if we didn't pick, there was no other reason for us to be on that show other than to represent for G. That was the
Right.
bottom line. That's why
Right.
we gave
Right.
him love every single episode, bro.
Yeah.
Is that's the only reason why we were on that show.
Right. Right. Now, when was the taping? Was it over the summer?
This was I want to say this was like the first quarter of the year, bro, because we were done, I want to say
Okay.
by April or something like that. March or April, we
Oh,
were done. Like we were like after the whole competition was done and we found out we were won, like that whole
yeah.
touring and moving around and the ABDC
Yeah.
tour, that stuff all happened like 2008, 2009. 2010 is when we actually got into Vegas. So there was a couple
Okay.
years after we got off the show that we were really moving around the world. And
Mm-hmm.
then
Mm-hmm.
we got some stability by, you know, a chance birthday, private birthday / audition in Las Vegas.
Now, throughout your experience now, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
think I would say for me, the dance part is part of the easy part because that's what you've been
Mm-hmm.
preparing for your whole life. And
Yes.
I'm assuming that the business part is probably the hardest part because as
You're right.
dancers, unless you went to business school, I mean, I don't know if going to business school helped because that's all theory. The real world
Right.
business and all that stuff, it's probably quite different. So from your experience so far, like what would you say was the toughest business challenge for you personally?
Oh man. Um, like you said it all, bro, in the perfect way. You know, business in school is definitely the theory. It gives you some insight on how to do it from a technical point of view, but there's a lot of like something as simple as having good social skills, being able to communicate. You know,
Mm,
those are all necessary to doing business. Doing good business is having the right motivation, integrity, the right ethics. And so
yeah.
those things are kind of like, I mean, I didn't go to school for business, so I'm not sure if that's a part of the curriculum, but that's just what I've learned personally in doing business. um you know, from my point of view, the challenge for me is really, honestly, you just got to find out what you're strong at, and then find others that have strengths, and then you know, develop a relationship, get to a point where you can trust these people. Because that okay, that's the biggest thing that I would have to say to you, brother Siege,
Mm,
was um putting trust in people and not really doing the, or have, maybe sometimes it was just about, maybe not insight, saying, hey, you got to kind of earn this trust before, you get what I'm saying, like not having that. There's so many times where we met people who saw Jabbawockeez as a business and not so much like the art, because we're coming purely from an art point of view. So the
mm-hmm,
art is the biggest thing, right? The business
mm-hmm,
supports the art. But some people that we had fellowship with had it the other way around. The
mm-hmm.
business was first and the art was just, you know, whatever. And
Right.
so that was the challenge, is just finding the individuals who understood that the art took precedence to the business. And then you know, just having quality people, you know, that's gonna look out for you, you know, because it happens, bro. Even the music industry, there's no difference. You hear about the story
Yeah.
of TLC, you
Yep.
know, talk
Yep.
about with the management, bro.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
such a real thing. It's
Yeah.
such a real thing, and we've had our fair share of it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so um
Mm-hmm.
you don't want to go through those things, but you know, like I said, all praises, I'm here now,
Yeah.
and with my mind state and how I perceive things because of those trials and those hardships. So moving forward, like I said, we got a good team. Everybody, we have goals. You know, those were kind of elusive before. It was
Yeah.
just like, okay, we gonna dance until we get old. Like, where are we headed? What are we trying to do? You know, I
Right.
knew what I wanted to do, but too many chefs in the kitchen and all this other
Right.
stuff, differing opinions, and
Yeah.
it can be challenging. Like, we're considered kind of like a boy band, bro. So
Yeah.
it's very hard to get everybody on one page and to
Yeah.
trust one another. But we finally figured it out with our
Mm-hmm.
team, and so this
Mm-hmm.
is the 2021 Jabbawockeez is the best we've ever been. Um,
Mm.
and yeah, it's beautiful right now.
It is great because congratulations for being signed another 4 years. For those that
Thank you,
don't know,
bro.
right?
See, and that's
Another four
another
years
thing.
that
We didn't celebrate that before. The management didn't have the force. I mean, we want to let our partners know we appreciate the time and the effort that they put in us and the opportunity that they give us. So just something as small as celebrating an extension. We've had many extensions before. We just didn't say anything about it. But now we
Mhm.
want to celebrate all the wins. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but that's I just that
No,
want to give
that's
you that
this is
perspective.
great. I mean, this is a good tip. What I was going to ask
Mm-hmm.
you is this video, this interview, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, you know, more and more people will see it. This
Mm-hmm.
is where we're acting this is as a service to the future
Yes.
generations. Any dancers
Yes.
out there, there's going to be future Jabbawockeez. There's going to be
Yes.
future, you know, EBs, Rock City Crews, right?
Yup.
10 years, 20 years, 5 years, even, right?
Yup.
Something amazing is to come out. Now, these mistakes will happen again if you don't have the same skills. You can have another crew that's incredible dancers,
Yeah.
but the social skills that Kevin is trying to tell you guys, that probably the electric boogaloo, you get the mop tops, those problems repeats itself over and over and over again
Oh yeah. Yeah.
because we lack that skill. What is that skill? The business skill. This is what we're talking about. The business skill, and also the social skills, right? The communication skills. There are problems. There are always problems within the group. There's also problems with the groups, with the management. It all comes down to your ability to communicate effectively. Then that breaks down into trust. Like, hey, I thought you said this, and I thought da 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 da. And that could lead into distrust and broken relationships. And these are the things that many of the groups had to learn firsthand. Over and over and over again. If you don't get it correctly. And for you guys to last this long, that means you learned it, and that means you're able to gain the skills to solve it now. And then now whatever problems you face in the future is something new, and then you still got to learn that skill to solve that problem. So this is something that I think, like this interview hopefully it serves as a warning, and also like a prelude, a prerequisite to how to develop a successful dance crew business. Right.
It is definitely in communication, bro. I mean, because people are I get misread all the time. I misread myself, you know? But if I just left it at that misread, and then I start to develop this world or this way of being, you know, based on that misunderstanding, then I'm not doing my relationship with my partners a justice, right? So we have to communicate. If I see something a certain way or somebody misreads what I'm doing, I'm grateful now that we have the trust to say, hey, man, what was that all about? Or, I mean, there's a respectful way to approach. You know, you start with respect first. And if the person doesn't reciprocate that, then you just have to figure out a way, whether maybe you leave it alone or just say, okay, I'm not crazy or whatever. But it all lies in communication. And like I said, when you have a group of individuals who's dedicated to communication, whether it be, you know, to constructively critique or whatever, but when you practice that communication, then you have like this culture of you know, just talking all the time and talking things through. You know what I mean? We got to do that because, you know, somebody could say, oh, I thought you meant that when you said this. It's like, no, I totally didn't mean that. You know what I mean? Like, no, let's not waste any time thinking that that's what it is. Let me clear that up. I'm speaking from my heart directly to you. That's not what it was. The sooner we can get over that and moving forward, the better. You guys got to have a collective mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think what the success for the Jabbawockeez is that we all focused on feeding the machine. Like it didn't. This was first. The mask was first. You get what I'm saying? Sometimes our families, you know, had to kind of suffer or whatever, but it was always about being one mind. And when you have all this creative energy in each brain focused in one place, there's no way that thing will not be successful. You know what I mean?
Now, I'm going to ask you this question. I don't know. It might be kind of tough, but we agree that working on communication is probably the key foundation, right? In any group, but especially in a dance group. What can somebody do that's watching right now? What can they do to improve their communication skills? Do you think there's a course, or do you think something that you would recommend for somebody to do, like tangible, you know? Because some of these advice we give, it's almost like it's like theory, like, get better at communication. What exactly does that mean? Is there something that you can give to the audience, like tangible stuff that they could do to improve the communication?
Absolutely. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like you have to recognize the people that you're communicating to, right? Like your group of individuals. Let's say there's 3 people. It is in your best interest for the collective, if you want to go somewhere, right, together, for you to have maybe set some core values or some guidelines or some things like and what I've also learned, it's about how people receive communication, where there's this thing that we say, being able to speak each other's love language. It's like
Yeah.
how I communicate to my brother Joe is going to be a little different how I communicate to Rainen, because I'm learning you and I need to not sugarcoat, but I need to craft my message in a way that I understand will be positively received, because I'm coming from a positive place. I'm not trying
Yeah.
to hurt you or do anything negative. But there are people, you got to be careful of that. You know,
That's
you could
right.
be fully trusting to somebody, open communication. This person could be giving you critiques, but where they're coming from could be a dark
Yeah.
place. So you have
Yeah.
to be careful. So it's the people. First and foremost, you recognize, am I in this communication? And I'm really kind of referencing negative, because that's where the hiccups and the kinks start to get, is when it's not too comfortable. You have to
Mm-hmm.
look within and say, all right, do I have light inside? Like is this a positive energy? Am I coming from a light place, a place of dark? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
First and foremost, is how I feel right now negative towards this person? If it is, then maybe I just need to take a little time, calm down, because if my energy's negative, guess what's going to come out in your communication? So
Yeah.
definitely checking yourself
Yeah.
first is helpful to make sure that your messaging doesn't come off with negative energy. That's one thing. Um, if there is negative things or not too easy things to talk about, you can, to your trusting individuals, you can say, hey, I want to talk about this. It might not be the time right now, just because I'm still trying to sort through my emotions about it. But I do not ever want to approach any situation emotionally charged. I want to make sure I maintain a level head. So let me calm down. Let me go over here and chill, or let's circle back. But I just want to let you know that there are some things that I would like to talk about, just in a space where we're not already like so revved up that any little
Mm-hmm.
thing I say is just gonna set you off. So
Yeah.
that's being aware of that, being discerning, whether or not, this is the right time to talk about something heavy, as opposed
Yeah.
to just putting a quarter on it and say, hey, can we please revisit this a little later? This is something that's important to me, and I would like to get down to the bottom of it. It's just right now is not the time, because I'm kind of charged, you're charged. Being honest
Right.
and open like that, if people can receive that, man, you will be doing your relationship a justice. And I hope that helped.
Yeah, for sure. I think you just reminded me of our conversation we had. I don't remember if we talked about this, but did we mention about that book called Five Languages?
No,
Uh
I don't think
Five
I don't think I
Languages of
remember
Love
talking
or
about that.
something like that? That okay, that
No.
wasn't okay. I thought we mentioned about it, but it's
Okay.
almost exactly what you're talking about. It's like
Okay.
each person have a different way of communication, right?
Yo.
As you said, if you talk to Joe, he might receive a certain way, and when you talk to Rainen or even your wife or your kids, this is out for anybody,
Absolutely.
right? There's a
Absolutely.
certain way of
Yeah.
communicating,
Yeah.
and you could do it. We could film you,
Yeah.
and three people can watch the same tape, and they
Yeah.
would all get three different messages
A hundred
because
percent.
their love language is different or their
Yes.
communication language is different.
Yes.
So for anybody out there, again, I'm not sponsored by that book or anything, but I
Right.
remember that book. I think it's called Five Languages of Love, and
Yeah.
it's mainly for husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend
Yeah.
to communicate with each other. I
Right.
think even because when you gave an example of boys, right?
Yeah.
We feel like we communicate the same.
Yeah.
There's a huge difference between how a man and a woman communicates.
Oh, yes. Yes.
It's even bigger
Yeah.
difference, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
for sure, communication is so huge, and I would recommend,
Yes.
like, if anybody's in college or even in high school, if there's some communication class that's effective, take it. I don't know how
Take
good
that.
that program is, but I feel like whoever the teacher is, do some research, and if it's effective, I would say that's going to
I
help you.
recommend that. Yep, I
Yeah,
agree. I agree with that.
yeah, for sure. I mean, because you've been through so much,
Yep.
and anybody out there that's listening right now, yes, great dancer, great choreographer, great teacher, but the thing that we're talking now is learn how to communicate, because your communication
Yeah,
skill is
man.
terrible. doesn't really matter how great of a dance talent you are. Eventually, there's going to be
Right.
problems with your crewmates, with your management,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you know, you've seen a lot of heartaches. You know, I've seen it uh,
Yeah.
from the outside and also from the inside,
Yeah.
from many different groups as well. So
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
anybody out there, yeah, do that. Now let's dig a little bit into, because you teach,
Yes.
from your experience as a teacher, as a dance
Yes.
teacher,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
What are some of the best, I guess, advice
Mm-hmm.
that you've seen other instructors give to their students or also give to you?
Um, Best advice from other instructors. It's funny because I feel like being where I'm at right now, right? The experience that I've had, when I collide with other people, like I've learned from Buddha Stretch. Like I said, shout out. He spent some time with us, and I appreciated his methods and um, helping you to really understand. I think that's what it is. This is really what it is. It's understanding the dance, the culture, where it came from, the music, the foundation. Man, educate yourself on that. I think that's the best advice any mentor that I've seen give to people and that
Mm,
I've gotten for myself
mm-hmm,
is uh be inspired, certainly, but at some point in time, dig in and learn about it. You know what I mean? It's just gonna make that the experience more richer. You're gonna know it gives you a why. You get what I'm saying? It's just like, oh, okay, I want to learn about hip hop. I want to understand, you know, the elements of hip hop and you know why. You realize that, you know, these people had one or two choices. You could either be in a gang or you could, you know, do something positive like dance, learn a skill. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And sometimes people was doing both at the same time, but it was the dancing that really, you know, helped them dodge a bullet, so to
yeah,
speak. You know what I mean? So um and that's just hip hop, right? So like learning the foundation of what it is that you're studying, getting tapped in, that's what gives you the credibility for later on, because that's the process, right? You
mm,
learn, you find a mentor who pours into you, you get this knowledge, you go through your
mm-hmm,
process, you get seasoned, and then there's a new
mm-hmm,
generation. What are you going to teach that new generation if you don't yourself have the proper knowledge? It
yeah,
starts to get diluted over time,
yeah,
and then now you find yourself in a generation of people that are very skilled in dancing, but they don't have any foundation in their
yeah,
dancing. It's
yeah,
easier for them to run than to walk. It's
yeah,
easier for them to move fast than to move slow and deliberate,
yeah,
you know.
yeah. Okay, so this is a question that I always wonder how to answer, and
Mm,
hopefully you can shed some light onto this.
mm,
As a beginner, as a newcomer into the space, into the dance
mm,
space, how
mm,
do they find a good mentor versus someone who's not? You know,
mm,
because you've probably seen a lot of good dancers who are probably not so good in teaching, and maybe some of the philosophies, right?
mm,
So if you were to give advice to people who are like, hey, okay, KB, I got your advice. I know what you're trying to say, but how do I identify them, right?
right,
Uh, Not everybody has the luxury to go meet you,
right,
the EBs, the
yeah,
Mop Tops, Rocksteady, the pioneers. But there are probably second generation or even third generation students of them
mm,
or of some other people.
mm,
But how do we differentiate?
yeah.
Who should we follow?
You know, I think it goes back to whether or not that person is knowledgeable about the foundation, what it is that they're teaching. You know, like for instance, for you, I can promote you all day because I know for certain, not only just by watching you and seeing your skill, that's number one. Oh, okay, this dude's seats looks pretty dope. So let me go and see what he's all about. Then I hold a conversation, and I think that's ultimately what I'm saying is like, if you're new to the dance space, find out the foundation. if you are interacting with people that can't give you that foundation, then maybe they're not the one that's good at mentoring. They could show you the mechanics of the dance and you could learn how to dance, but in terms of like being poured into, you definitely want to know somebody who has been there, has, you know, done the research or have been able to collect the data, whether it be firsthand or secondhand, but they're knowledgeable about it. And then maybe they could point you, if they're not the person, point you in a direction. Like for instance, like I said with you, I could definitely vouch for Brother Seach all day because I know you were a direct disciple or student of Skeeter Rabbit, bro, and he's one of the OGs. And so all the things that you shared about me, I felt like I felt like I was getting mentored by Skeeter Rabbit because of the way that he mentored you. You get what I mean? His energy still resides within you in some way, shape, or form through your colliding for the time that you did, and the life lessons that you learn. It comes off when you talk. You know what I mean? So, that's what I know in terms of Seach as a mentor. You would be good because you were directly under one of the OGs, and you can tell the stories about, you know, maybe the stuff that maybe not a lot of people knows about. You get what I'm saying? Brothers, I call him Seafood Flow Master. You know, he got a chance to fellowship with Skeeter Rabbit also. So his lock-in is, you get what I mean? So and then from him, so he's pouring into me, you're pouring into me, right? So then if somebody wants me to be a mentor, then I can say, yo, this is what I learned from Brother Seach, who learned it from Skeeter Rabbit, who's an OG. Anytime somebody could point to their elder, right? You know that person could potentially be a good mentor. And this is what I know for even just like I told you, I study martial arts, Filipino martial arts. My guru is like the second generation. It goes father, son, and then it's my guru. So he's telling me the context and the history and the why. So that's why I'm like, man, this is legit. I know this is legit because not only is it when I watch him move, how smooth it is and how expert he is, but he's also giving me the history lessons and the context, and it's very seasoned. You could tell. And I don't know if that helped answer the question, but that's personally what I would look for if I was looking for a mentor. If they couldn't tell me, you know, then I'm just like, oh, okay, well, show me how to do this move, but I'll find somebody who could really give me the lowdown on the insight, the knowledge behind all of this. That's what you really want to look for.
For sure, I think so. I think that answer is brilliant. I think anybody out there is listening, really dig deep, you know, and take this advice. Really understand, you know, whoever your mentor could be, and everybody has a different philosophy, but hopefully you find one that you believe in. You know, the philosophy of your teacher, your mentor. Bro, I want to move into this section. I think it's a little of a break. And I call this this or that. All right.
Okay.
And basically all you got to do is choose one. There's really no right answer. And if you want to justify, you know, which one, you're free to do so.
Okay.
So, all right, let me see. Are you able to see this? Yeah.
Yes, there are no wrong answers.
All right, here we go. Toilet paper over or toilet paper under?
Oh, you talking about how you pull it?
Right.
Now you said there's no answer I can justify. So check this out.
Yeah.
Honestly, it doesn't matter for me. But I came to this realization because I had been so adamant about having the toilet paper over. Like coming down from over. I felt like it was easier to reach for. Yeah. The little, when you tear the piece off, the next one. But then depending on how you tore it, it could fall behind. So I just was like, I guess it doesn't. And plus, you know, living in you know, having a family, like my kids, my wife, anybody changes the toilet paper, they're not thinking over or under. So I might step in one bathroom that's over, another bathroom that's under, and I just got to the point where I'm just like, it don't matter. I just gotta make do.
That's right. That's right. And again, for me to add to that, I used to believe over. it
Yeah.
makes sense. You know, you can
Yeah.
see it, tear it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like you, I got kids. And remind me, how many do you have? How many kids?
Four
You
kids,
got four. So
13,
you got
11, 9, and 6.
yeah. So you got one more than me, right? I got three. And
Yes. Okay.
I remember one time I went to the bathroom and I see it all over the floor.
Yeah.
What happened was the kids would
Oh
slap,
yeah.
slap, slap. It would go
Yeah.
under, right? It would
Oh
just
yeah.
all the toilet paper would be on the ground.
Yeah.
So I decided I want to flip it under because if
Yes.
you flip it, if you keep
It
hitting
don't
it,
go
it
down.
won't go down. So
See?
that's when I
See?
changed it to under.
That's it.
Uh,
That's it.
so
That's it.
yeah,
Over, it'll just keep going.
right, right.
You're
So
right.
it depends on if you have kids or pets, right? I
Yes.
guess sometimes pets
Yeah.
will do that too.
That's a great tip for parents out there who
Right.
just flip it under. The kids can't waste the toilet paper.
That's right. All right, moving forward. Here we go. Ooh, Uber or Lyft?
I'm gonna say Uber because I just got that app. That was the first thing that I don't know. Lyft kind of came later, and I was already committed to Uber. So
Got it.
Uber.
Got it. Soup or sandwich?
Ooh. Now this really kind of does depend on the mood. It does depend on the time of year, the season, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I do. I find myself eating more soup than sandwiches. You know,
What kind of soup? What's your favorite?
I eat specifically pho, Vietnamese soup for the most part.
Okay, right.
And then my wife will make like Filipino sinigang and the tinola and the arroz caldo, those type of things. But like, yeah, soup is good for the body. I appreciate it. And if you think about it in terms of sandwich, if you know gluten and all that other and cheese, I'm getting up there. I got to stay away from that. My body react a little different to those things these days. So soup it is.
Fair. Meat or veggie?
I'm gonna say veggie, but I love the meat. But
right,
because I know it's a better choice for me.
I'm with you there, man. I think like the right answer is veggie because it's supposed to be better for you, and we probably eat too much meat as the Western society, right?
Of course, yeah.
But man, I don't know. I can't stay away from good meat,
I'm telling you, a burger, bro, dang. Woo.
Right.
But I'm gonna say veggies.
All right.
Text or phone call? This is probably bad, but like I would say text, just because I'm just all over the place and sometimes I can't pick up. So just a little text would be helpful first, and then I can hit up. And then there could be also a third option, FaceTime. That's a whole nother thing. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. That's right.
I would say
probably as busy as you are, a lot of the business calls, a lot of simple what time or where do we meet or something like that. A quick text is much better.
Certainly.
But phone call, it's more like you need to really read the tone of the person, right? Because it's so,
correct.
So hard to joke on text, right?
Yes.
Especially, if you're a single guy or a girl, like you can't run game on text. It's like
nah, that's not happening. I don't think
it won't.
Thank goodness for emojis though, because they kind of help, but they still don't.
That's right.
They don't really,
Yep. That's right. All right. Next, shop online or shop in store?
I prefer to shop in the store, bro. I want to see it. I want to touch it. You know what I mean? That's just the school I came from.
Right. Strength or ability?
Ooh. Equally important, but I feel like flexibility though. In later stages in life, I think they both could fluctuate, right? Strength though, I feel like, and I could be so wrong, bro, but I feel like with strength, there's still just kind of like this window where it's the most effective, but flexibility. Okay, I'm gonna go with flexibility, and I'll tell you why. Because I remember G saying, "Yo, you need to make sure you stay stretched up because it don't get easier when you get older. So as an
Mm-hmm.
older person, he
Yeah.
still practiced stretching and flexibility.
Yes.
I think that's probably a little more useful later on in life than
Yeah.
strength, so to speak,
Yeah.
because you know, flexibility is life.
I agree. I agree for sure.
Yeah. Day
Day
or
or
night. I love the
night?
day, bro. I love the day, especially like the morning time. You
Mm.
know, that energy, that morning energy, that early day energy, the
Mm-hmm.
sun. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I really do appreciate the day. It's I love it.
Terrific. Terrific. Facebook or Instagram?
I'm gonna say Instagram. I'm not too good on the face. I'm actually not really that great on either one of them, but I feel like I get my little kicks off of watching Instagram. I don't really do
Uh-huh.
the Facebook too much.
All right.
Oh,
Jackson
Jackson
5
Five,
or New
bro. Come on,
Edition?
that's too easy for me. Jackson 5.
All right. All right. Now this is an add-on to that because
Yes.
I feel like a lot of dancers we want to give tribute to Jackson 5 because it's
Mm.
before, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, let me ask you this. Can you
Yes.
name all members of the Jackson 5?
Tito, Randy, Jermaine, Michael, and wait. Tito, Jermaine, Randy, Michael. Who's the fifth? I can't even think of who the fifth is, bro.
I don't even know. I'm just asking because the reason why I say that is because
Yeah.
can you name every member of the New Edition?
I know there's Ralph Tresvant. You got Belle Biv DeVoe, Bobby Brown, and at one point in time there was Johnny Gill. Was that it?
Yeah, so you got all 6, but you
Okay.
couldn't get all 5.
I couldn't get all 5. I wonder why. Who? Because there's Jermaine, there's Tito, there's Randy, there's
Is there a
Michael.
Jackie?
Yes, there is a Jackie. There is a Jackie. That's who I'm missing, bro.
So okay, so maybe that was the one.
I believe
I thought I remember there's a Jackie or something. Joe is the father, right? Joe's the father.
That's correct. But I'm gonna tell you the
Okay.
reason why I said Michael or the Jackson 5, bro, because of songs like Dancing Machine, Can You Feel It?
Yeah.
Looking through the window, man, the ABC, the early stages, like Michael Jackson as a kid with his brothers, bro.
Yeah.
That sound
Yeah.
from that era in time just
For
takes me
sure.
back to it makes me think of like my childhood, my grandfather,
Yeah.
like, you know, Sacramento when I was young, and
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah. But what about listening to a New Edition though? You must have some it brings you back too.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, Can You Stand the Rain?
Yeah.
If It Isn't Love.
Yeah. Yeah.
What else? Well, Candy Girl. Like I think this is super dope because I feel like the New Edition to Jackson 5 is like Jabbawockeez and Mindtricks. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like it's almost like a continuation, a new legacy, new generation. You know, like, man, New Edition was doing the thing. Who else was as big as New Edition at that time?
At that time,
I think they were the biggest thing out, bro.
Yeah, as far as groups,
yeah.
I mean, afterwards is New Kids.
Okay.
But
yeah, that was
I don't
after.
know if I at the same time as New Edition, I'm not sure.
They got a head start. I mean, you think about Ref Tribe, Candy Girl.
Yeah.
How old was he with that song?
Yeah, man.
You know, that album, that go back, bro.
Right.
So yeah, I feel like they were kind of like the new Jackson 5. It might be kind of a stretch, but
right. I would agree. I agree with you. Yeah, for sure. All right, that was a great answer though.
Right on, man.
All right, Sammy Davis Jr. or the Nicholas Brothers?
Ooh, so this is like, okay, you have to educate me, bro.
Yeah,
because I think automatically I'm gonna Sammy Davis Jr. was so talented, but I wonder, was the Nicholas Brothers first? Did they precede him, or was it around the same time?
You know what? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
Dude.
So, but in terms of talent, I mean, they were both super talented. But I know Nicholas brothers, they were pioneers.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Sammy Davis Jr. wasn't a pioneer. I mean,
Right.
you know, he ran with the Rat Pack, being a melanated individual amongst a group of individuals who were not melanated. You know, that was groundbreaking for that time frame to be him to be accepted during that segregation. So that's a big deal. But also, like I said, the Nicholas brothers are considered pioneers, like even in hip hop, bro. Like, they get some credit, you know, for contributing to hip hop, or at least being an inspiration to hip hop, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, these two are incredible. And now, I think it was on Netflix, but I forgot which one it was. But there was a documentary on Sammy Davis Jr. For anybody out there that is interested, do a search on it.
Will check that out.
I think it was great because it talks about his history when he first started. It talked about him working with his dad and his uncle.
Oh, okay.
And of course, I mean, the Nicholas brother, I would say anybody of the minorities around that time faced tremendous discrimination, racism, and all that stuff. Yes. So they both faced that.
Absolutely.
But Sammy Davis Jr., of course, his eye accident, right?
Oh, yeah.
So that was huge. And you know, besides dancing and singing, I didn't know, but he was a really good gunslinger.
I didn't know this either.
Yeah, he was like fast with his guns. Like, that's crazy, right?
See? Foundation. That's information. That's knowledge. That's dope.
Yeah. And you probably already know this, but like, there's some footage of him doing b-boy moves before b-boys. Like, he was head spinning. He was doing swipes as a tapper.
That's super dope.
See, that was like, because I remember Wiggles were talking about. He's like, Wiggles was saying, dude, he said, I meaning him, consider that Sammy Davis Jr. to be the first b-boy.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, what?
And OG, that's dope.
Yeah, because I mean, if you could just see it for yourself, right? You don't have to take his opinion on it.
You definitely.
But like, you see that, man, this guy's doing swipes and he's doing head spin as a tapper. It's like, yo,
he was on something. Of course, very talented. That's dope.
Yeah. All right, moving forward. Here we go. Oh, now we're talking about NSYNC or Backstreet Boys.
I'm gonna say
this is like what, mid 90s to late 90s? Yeah.
I'm gonna say that I probably know more NSYNC songs than I do Backstreet Boys songs. I know some Backstreet Boys songs. I actually went to go see them. So funny with Fee in a concert in the Philippines. But NSYNC, I think I knew them a little more because, you know, number one, they had Darren Henson as one of their choreographers. And there was a point in time where, you know, that was like a big deal. And so, like, from a choreographical like standpoint, talent-wise, I feel like we gravitated more towards NSYNC just because, you know, Darren Henson was a name in the dance industry and you know, their moves were dope.
Yeah, I think so too. All right. Pancake or waffle?
I'm going to say waffle. And I kind of don't really know why. I just like the waffles just, I mean, it's interesting. Just looking at it.
Yeah, I always think about it too. Yeah. Pancake just seems a little bit plain. I think maybe the waffle has a little bit of that crunchiness.
Yeah, it got character.
That kind of adds to it. Yeah.
Yo, you're right.
I agree, man. I agree. All right. Music or podcast? Now, this is... Now let me stipulate this one a little bit more. This is more of, let's say, when you're not dancing. Of course, when you're dancing, you're not going to be dancing a podcast, really.
Right.
Unless you're on some really crazy stuff. but yeah, when you're not dancing, do you listen to music or podcasts? This is probably mainly like you're driving or something, you know?
Right. You know, it's kind of a toss-up. It all depends on my mood, right? I would say for the most part, when I'm not dancing, maybe I'm practicing my eskrima, or maybe I'm, you know, cooking, or maybe I'm like cleaning up the house. I'm throwing some music on. But also, like, you know, I would have to say podcast because There's some times where I just have this thirst to uh, get knowledge or just hear what people like how you're doing interviews now and just listen to the different people's like journeys and stuff like that. That's all very interesting and it's helpful to me. I'll get nuggets from that and you know and how to communicate better. You know what I'm saying? Or
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
business tips and how I should be thinking as an entrepreneur. Those type of things I
Yes.
get from some podcasts, but for I would have to say most of my time though I love music and that's kind of like my go-to and like I
Yeah.
said podcast will be the kind of thing where I don't really want to listen to music right now. Much rather
Yeah.
you know get like some tips or and then audiobooks is I don't know if that kind of falls into the podcast type of genre
Yeah,
but
sure
like
does. Yeah.
yeah
Yeah.
those type of things they have their place. They have their place.
That's perfect. I'm reminded of when we spent time together in Vegas and we talked
Hmm.
about Clubhouse, right?
Oh yeah.
You mentioned that I think your wife was listening to some of the interesting channels.
Man, she going. I'm sure she'll pick podcasts over music because she be man from the time she wake up. I wake up hearing her podcast or her clubhouse. You know what I mean?
Mm,
I'm like, what the
yeah.
heck? You 6 o'clock in the morning on some cloud? Oh, baby, they talking about stocks or they talking about NFTs, and I'm like, whoa, all right, that's her.
That's great. That's awesome, man. That's
Yeah,
awesome. Yeah.
yo.
All right, let's move forward. Uh, oh, this is more philosophical, right? Air
Ooh,
or
yeah.
water?
I would have to say air.
Uh,
The reason why I say air is because I mean, from a basic,
okay.
you can go a couple days without water. You can't go one. You can't go past as long as you can hold your breath. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
Past that, you know what I mean? You done.
Right.
It's interesting though, because I was talking about philosophy. It's interesting how there's similarities.
Mm-hmm.
You can say that a fish flies in the water and a
Mm.
bird swims in the air. They
Yes.
both have the ability to leverage this environment and float or whatever it is. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Water is like air and air is like water. It's
That's right.
just and it's crazy because you know sea creatures breathe
Yeah.
water and we breathe air.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of similarities, you know, to
Yeah.
that. But yeah.
I want you to say that one more time because you said it so effortlessly and so quickly that I think people might have just missed it.
Yes.
You said fish swims in water.
No.
No, fish
Fly in air and water. Fish
fish.
fly
Yes, yes,
in.
yes, yes. Yeah, I'm saying if we everybody listening out there, take just a moment to really think about it, right? Fish
Yeah.
flies in water. That's the same as
A bird swimming in
bird
air.
swimming in air. That's perfect. That's perfect, right?
That's
So
great.
it's great when you really visualize it. You close your eyes and
Yeah.
visualize it. Yeah, fish they are flying in the water,
Yeah.
right? And,
Yep.
and birds and planes and anything that's in the sky, we're swimming in the
Yep.
air. So they're very similar. And I think with martial artists, we always refer to Bruce Lee talking about be like water.
Oh yeah.
And I think air is the same. I think
Yeah.
the philosophy that he applied to us saying, hey, be like water because
Yep.
water is formless. Well, air could be the same because
It's
there's actually
formless and shapeless.
water in the air, right?
Man,
So
I seen some freaking storms, like air pull uproot trees, bro. That's how
yeah,
strong air can be. You know what I
right,
mean? It can
right,
pull
right.
trees right up out of the ground, bro. And at the same
Yeah.
time, water could crush it. So it's very be like water. It's like being like air. Also.
Yes. Beautiful. Bro, you are so it's such a pleasure talking to you because it's not a shallow answer, right? It's very easy. Like this yes or this this or that question could easily just be like water,
Yeah.
and I really appreciate you your thinking in there because this allows the people to really know, KB is, he puts thoughts into his stuff, man.
Oh
So
man. I'm
Appreciate that,
blessed,
brother.
bro. I appreciate you too, man. And game recognized game. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the reason why we have great conversation. And iron sharpens
You
iron.
recognize
You know, same thing.
for sure. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I gotta have you back on a regular
Absolutely.
basis because
Let's
for sure
go.
I'm learning tons. You know,
That's what's up.
I
I
was just
thank you,
talking to
bro. Likewise.
uh, Michelangelo, our brother, and I was thinking about
Oh
this
yes,
summer I might
brother
bring the family
Michelangelo.
down. Yeah,
Okay.
so yeah,
Yeah,
I
he
gotta
gonna be
reconnect
here,
with
bro.
you.
We definitely gonna connect. Straight up.
Yeah. All right, moving forward. Okay, here we go. We talked about this breaking or
Ooh.
beat street. Breaking or beat street.
Okay.
All right,
I'm gonna
brother.
tell you like two sides of me. Straight
Yeah.
gritty, raw b-boy, that's gonna go beat street all day. That's New York.
Yeah.
That's the culture. They got graffiti. You really got a chance
Yeah.
to see from a non-Hollywood point of view what the culture was like. If I
Mm-hmm.
were to refer a person who doesn't know anything about dancing, and
Mm-hmm.
they like, what dancing movie should I watch first, Breaking or Beat
Mm-hmm.
Street? I'm gonna say go watch Beat Street first, so
Mm-hmm.
you really see how like it could be. Not to say it was like, I just feel like Breaking, they hammed it up a little bit, but that's not
Yeah.
bad though, because what it
Yeah.
did was it allowed people that didn't know the culture or wasn't, you know what I mean, it gave them
Yeah.
a little bit of a taste to it, of what it's like,
Mm-hmm.
for urban. Well, I didn't say urban. I'm sorry. I got this little stigma about that. But like, your regular person is not really gonna. They'll watch B Street and just look at it. Probably, if you're not melanated, you're gonna look at it and be like, okay, that's different. New York, I can't relate to that. But in breaking, it was so diverse. It had a lot of different kind of people in there. I'm not saying that the dancing was watered down, because like shout out Michael Chambers, Boogaloo Shrimp, Ozone,
Mm-hmm.
Poppin' Taco, Poppin' Pete.
Yeah.
Those they were really like skilled dancers. So there was
Yeah.
like real skill in those movies.
Yeah.
It's just, the plot and the ham, and like it's
Yeah.
so funny that you said that, because I just watched Breaking with my daughter
Yeah.
not that long ago. She's 11, so she don't know nothing about this, and so it's good for us to go back. And it was very, like I said, it's like very like kid friendly type of like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say Mickey. It's kind of like Mickey Mouse, bro. I'm not trying to knock it, but
Right. Yeah.
because breaking has a place in my heart too. Because
Yeah.
like I said, Turbo with the broom, the first
Mm.
one, whoa,
Mm-hmm.
bro, whoa,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
blew my mind. Second
Yeah.
one was like where a little more hammy. He's dancing
Yeah.
on the ceiling and with the magic like that.
Right.
And I think that kind of speaks to my point. You know what I mean? Like if
Yeah.
you see a dude dancing with a broom and the
Yeah.
broom is magically floating around, you already know that's not real.
Right. Right.
But then when you
Yeah.
watch B Street and you see them at the club and they calling each other out in a real
Yeah.
way, not like electro rock and TKO, how they was dancing
Right.
with
Right.
nunchucks and garbage tops. Like you really see
Right.
like real b-boys, in Beat Street battling. They
Mm-hmm.
gave you a real taste of what that culture was like. I would have to say. So in some ways, it's like Beat Street to give you the real deal, and then watch
Right.
Breaking if you want to just be entertained and watch some cool dancing. But
Yeah.
yeah, those are the differences for me.
You broke it down perfectly, brother. You broke it down perfectly. Yeah. Right. Cool. Let's move forward.
Right on, fam. Peanut butter
Peanut butter
Nutella.
Nutella.
Ooh. I'm gonna go with peanut butter, bro. Tried and true. It tastes the best with jelly.
Mm.
I don't know about Nutella. I think that's kind of, you can use Nutella a lot of different things. I think it's just because the way I grew up. I didn't really grow up on Nutella. It was more peanut butter in the crib. I got exposed to Nutella. It's delicious, but my go-to is peanut butter because
Fair.
that's just how it grew up.
Yep.
Nothing deep about that.
Fair. All right, this one might be deep too.
Oh, come on, bro.
Prince or Michael, brother. Break it down, baby. Break it down.
Okay, so Michael is in the heart.
Right.
I knew Prince could dance, right? I found this out like later, but he wasn't really like known for that. Michael Jackson blew me off my feet.
Yeah.
Musically, though, I would have to say I appreciate Prince more now as I'm older. I appreciate his talent a little more. I think Michael was more user friendly to a kid, or you feel me? Because you look at Prince's like his whole thing, like with the androgynous look and stuff like that, and you know what I mean? Like, he talk about girls and stuff. I mean, Mike was doing it, but it was more like on a wholesome type of tip, He was
that's perfect. Yeah, the way you describe it,
he was very commercial friendly, But Prince was a little more edgy, and like I said, I can appreciate him more now than before, So yeah, that's my answer.
Yeah, the first time the first time I saw When the Doves Cry video, right? The androgynous look. I don't know what to feel. Like, as a kid, you're just like,
this boy wearing high heel boots. Like, what?
Like, what?
My mom wear those.
Right. But then as you get older, like you said, get older, you started, wow, this guy did all that stuff. Like, all the songs he'd written for other people.
Yes.
All the
talented,
different,
bro.
Yeah.
And his music was funky too. So funky.
Yeah. I mean,
he's dope, bro. Prince is that's he went in later on in life. I still got a special place for Michael, but Prince, man, I got so much respect for him.
Yeah. And with the Chappelle skit about him playing basketball, that kind of add more bonus to his stock. You know what I mean?
That's real. I heard he a straight up baller, bro. Like,
right. Like, he played ball in high school.
Yeah.
So
I actually went to Minnesota, and I found out where I was at was probably like 30 minutes from where Prince was from. I want to say, you know what? I don't want to mess it up. I'm not sure where it was. I want to say Minnetonka. I'm not sure. But I know he's from Minnesota, that part. And I was like, wow, that's interesting. He's from Minnesota. I know nothing about that culture out there, but they produced Prince, man, and he was amazing. So shout out Minnesota.
He's like, is he half Filipino?
I don't know. Is he?
Or quarter or something? Because
I have to find out. I didn't know that. I thought he was just a light-skinned dude, but that would make sense.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure he's mixed. I want to say there's some Asian in him.
You know what?
But I could be wrong.
Because there's an Asian community. Like, that's when I went to Minnesota, I saw some Lao out there. I think that's mostly what I saw, but there's like a pretty substantial Asian community out in Minnesota. I was surprised. I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, if he's mixed, that makes total sense.
Yeah. So super talented. Both of them for sure. All right.
Yep.
Way to break it down, brother.
Right on.
All right. Iced coffee or hot coffee?
I'm gonna say hot coffee.
Do you normally even drink coffee?
Now, I think lately I have definitely over the winter. And it's really like these little instant. Oh no, I take that back. I go to this place called Black Rock. They make this. It's called Mexican mocha, and it's inspired by like the Mexican chocolate type of thing. And it's got like the cinnamon. It's like a cinnamon type of vibe to it. I just prefer hot because I feel like after a while the iced coffee gets a little watered down. So but hot. It just something about like with the whole soup and the warm, just something about it. I prefer hot coffee.
Got it. All right.
Passenger
or driver?
Definitely driver. And
definitely
I hope
driver.
you don't say nothing about my personality, but I love to drive. It's very therapeutic to me. You know what I mean? I do a lot of thinking when I drive. I appreciate, just being out. The few times that I am a passenger, I'm really just admiring the landscape. But I think the whole driving mechanism is very therapeutic to me. So I prefer to be the driver, not because I'm a control freak or nothing like that. I just very therapeutic.
So typically when the family goes out, will you be driving or a wife? Yeah.
I'm the chauffeur. Wife
How about with
homies?
Sit back
and relax.
So let's say homie says, "Hey, let's go to such and such place,"
Oh,
and let's say you guys live pretty close,
yeah,
So it's not. I mean, you could say meet there, you drive, I'll drive,
yeah,
let's meet there. Like
yeah.
if there's a choice of like, I'll pick you up or you pick me up, would you rather be picked
I
up
mean,
or would
first
you
of
rather?
all, it's like most convenience, but I don't mind being a passenger also, you
Okay.
know. There it is definitely helpful to, because you gotta, especially in Vegas, bro, you gotta be defensive. You gotta be on your guard, you know what I mean?
Mm.
And sometimes it's nice to just, sit and take in the scenery and stuff like that,
Yeah.
communication while the
Yeah.
homie's driving or whatever. So I'm open
Right.
to it. But I think, because of my family and naturally, I think driver just kind of
Yeah.
resonated because that's what I do for the family. I'm the chauffeur. I drive them.
Yeah. I'm the same because I think even with homies,
Yeah.
I
Mm,
I don't know if I get car sick, but I remember when I was younger, I get
mm,
car sick.
mm.
So it's a lot
Oh,
easier for me to drive, like especially
right,
if
right.
we're taking some hilly roads and stuff.
Oh, yeah,
Driving prevents me from like getting sick, dude. Otherwise,
yeah,
especially if I'm in the back, if we're going
right.
up or down the hills, I'll be like,
Ooh,
"Yo,
now I
pull
know about
over."
that. Yeah, I remember mobbing somewhere. I think it was like Eureka or Ukiah or something like that with G
Hmm.
for one of his fairs. And I
Hmm.
made the mistake. I made the mistake of, like, while he was driving, I was on my phone or something like that. I was looking at
Oh,
something, and those roads I didn't realize. And after a while, I was like, "Yo, I don't feel so good." And it was because I wasn't looking out the window. I was focused. That's so strange
yeah,
how that works. But yeah, you'll definitely
exactly.
get car
Yeah,
sick.
yeah.
Yo,
All right, moving forward. Oh, iOS or Android?
I'm gonna say iOS just because of I was an Apple technician for a while, worked at Apple, and I appreciate like the it just feels a lot more intuitive, user friendly.
Mm-hmm.
But I do appreciate like Android. I have a Samsung also,
Mm.
and I just feel like the iOS is so elegant, so smooth. It communicates with all my other Apple products. I think that's really what it is because I've created this iOS bubble for myself. But
Now,
if I
when
want to
when did
walk,
you when did
go
you
ahead. I'm sorry.
work with the Apple Pro?
Now this is prior to this is just before Jabbawockeez popped off. I moved to San Diego 2002. I
Mm-hmm.
think I was working with Apple. Um, oh yeah, probably 2003 ish. Like
So
yeah,
you were
it's a
one of the
yeah,
Apple technicians, like at the Apple
yeah.
store.
I started off as just like a regular associate, helping people, purchase the product, when they want to buy it, I'll help them ring it out. And then
Mm-hmm.
I started doing inventory, which
Mm-hmm.
took me in the back. So I was off the floor for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And then as we got our merchandise, I would help count it and stock it and,
Mm-hmm.
put it in the store and stuff like that. And then it progressed from doing that to working at the Genius Bar. They called it the Genius Bar, and I started off with
Yeah,
like fixing people's iPods when it
dude,
didn't
that's
work.
dope.
Yeah, and then I progressed to fixing computers. So there was times where I changed out a whole motherboard. The secret was, though, real talk. I went to Cupertino to get certified, and then
Okay.
when I got back, the totality of the job was just somebody says, "Hey, my computer's not working. Okay, what's going on?" If we could we if we could deduce whether it was software related or hardware related, we'd figure
Mm-hmm.
that out. If it was hardware related, we would order the part, and then when the part came in, we would take the unit in, of course, check it in, give them an estimate time of when we would get it back. We ordered the parts in stock. It'll be here tomorrow. I'll get it to you in 2 days or whatever, right? Or
Hmm.
maybe later on before end of close that day, or the following day. And
Hmm.
so we do that. I had to take apart. I would just pretty much open it up on a unit that was working in the back room. We would
Yeah.
open up the unit and then follow the take apart. It would tell us how to switch out the memory board, or the RAM wasn't working, or the
Yeah.
hard drive. And you do that enough, you don't need the take apart anymore. You only need the take apart when they released a new product that had a different mechanism on how to swap out those parts. That was
Mm.
really all it was. But once you learned it, it was just like, oh, motherboard, cool. Boop, boop, boop. I know that's gonna take me like 30 minutes to change out, test it, make sure that it boots up, and
Yeah,
all this other stuff. So yeah, man, that was fun. I
that's
loved it. I
cool.
loved the critical thinking that I had to
Yeah,
employ for that particular job.
yeah, that's dope. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, man. Oh, of course. Rhythm
Okay, rhythm
balance.
of balance. Yeah,
Ooh.
rhythm of balance.
Ooh.
now,
You know,
now, here's the thing. You could answer this both ways, right? Or
yeah,
more than one way. One,
yeah.
obviously, as a dancer. I think another one
Uh-huh.
too is more of for life, the
I was
balance
gonna
of
say,
life.
Brother Siege. Brother Siege, they both work for life. If you
That's
think
right.
about it,
That's right.
there's a balance and a rhythm to life also.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
that's the reason why it's just that's when I look at it, I'm like,
Yeah.
man, I feel like they are so correlated that it's hard to say, which is which,
Yeah.
because balance is definitely important. You
Yeah.
have to have balance dancing. You ain't
Yeah.
falling all over the place. You
Yes.
have coordination, you have control. That's what
Yep.
balance is all about, right?
Yep.
And
Yep.
then rhythm is just finding that pocket in life. You get into these different rhythms, like
Yeah.
routines, maybe, wake up, brush your teeth, whatever. Or it could be a positive rhythm where you've figured out your flow, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've obtained balance in your life and you figured out your flow. And so
Yeah.
now there's a rhythm to how you operate from day to day. And you're constantly maintaining that balance and
Yeah.
that rhythm. You're actively. So yeah, they're both. It's so funny, bro. These two words on a surface level, it's just like how well you can dance. But on a
Right.
deeper level, it's like how rich these two concepts can make your existence is
Right.
having a balance and having a rhythm, you know.
This is perfect because I think majority of the people that sees this, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, oh, rhythm or balance. Like it's like I got to choose one. Initially, this
Mm.
is how it's designed. You got to choose
Yeah,
one. But I think the
absolutely.
deeper thinker understands that you need both,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I love the way you broke it down because it is a balance. It's a balance between rhythm. Like it's a balance between,
Yeah.
the I don't know if it's the Chinese, but the Eastern, the Asians
Mm-hmm.
believe in the balance of the yin and the
Oh
yang, right?
yes, 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 absolutely.
And same with our life, right? It's always a
Mm-hmm.
positive and negative. You feel your energy is high sometimes,
Yeah,
and you
yeah,
got to balance it with low because your energy can't be high. You
absolutely.
can't be on Red Bull 24/7.
hundred
There's a
percent.
high and then there's a low. You need to rest. There's a
Yeah,
you need to recoup and all that stuff. And that in
absolutely.
itself, it's a rhythm.
Exactly. Yes.
The
That's so crazy,
changing of
bro.
your yeah, it's
That's
so
dope.
I'm so glad that you touch upon it because as
Yeah.
dancers, obviously we face that,
Yeah.
right? And you see that in life. So man, brother, I mean, I always knew
Mm.
that there's such intelligence behind your dancing.
I
And of
appreciate
course,
that, bro.
that correlate to your daily life as well. So,
Everything. Yeah.
yeah,
And it's
yeah,
interesting you say about, and it's funny because I mean, like, I'm literally wearing, like, I'm very comfortable in my little Kung Fu gi. I love Bruce Lee. I'm not apologetic about loving Asian culture. I ain't
yeah,
trying to appropriate nothing. I just love the people. I
yeah,
love the contribution that Asian culture has, because every culture has a contribution to the world. I mean, I don't know exactly,
sure.
like, okay, well, what did the Japanese bring, or what did these bring? Yeah, I can pinpoint something, but I know that we're all different for a reason. And
Hmm.
it's because not one people can bring everything to the table. We're meant to collaborate. And so,
Yes.
and share with one another. And it's good. Like, I want to see people participating in things that are more, like indigenous. I don't know if that's the right word, to my culture.
Hmm.
You get me?
Hmm.
Because you're saying, hey, I respect you and I appreciate what you're doing. And it really does resonate with me. Like, I like this. Like, you have
Hmm.
found a way of living that I particularly would like to participate in. And I'm not trying to take anything from your culture. I'm just inspired by it. And that's
Yeah.
where I'm coming from with that, right? And so we're looking at rhythm and balance, and I think my mind is really like from an Eastern point of view, because like we said, rhythm, balance, them being two. You look at the whole thing about the yin and yang. In the white part, there's a seed of the black part, and in the
Yeah.
black part, there's a seed of the white. What they're trying to tell you is Eastern mind is not about separation, it's about the two pieces working together. And if we
Yeah.
look at everything that way, then
Yeah.
that's just going to give you a unique perspective on how to approach things, or how to navigate through things, right? Eastern
Yes.
mindset, like I think the Eastern mindset is it resonates with me. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's how I don't, sometimes it's not about sellers. My wife always talks to me, what's better, this one or this one? I'm like, yo, they're both good, so how can you really say like what's
Mm.
better? What does better mean? You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
It's subjective. It's up to you. But if I can step back and appreciate both,
Yeah.
then I feel like my experience is that much more rich, because I'm able to extract the good in both. You get what I'm
Perfect.
saying? And not just commit to, oh well, it's just rhythm because, you know, but what about all of this balance though? Oh, you
Perfectly
know?
said.
Yeah.
Perfectly said. Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. Ooh, dog or cat?
Ooh, I'm gonna say dog. I have a little puppy. Cats, number one, I'm allergic to them. At least when they
I'm
get
just
to be
like you,
adults.
bro. Yeah.
When I get to be adults, they got that dander be making me sneeze. Just aesthetically, dogs are, I got this little puppy that, like, I'm his world, bro. Anytime I
Yeah.
come into the room, this boy drop everything he doing to come say what's up. If I come into
Mm.
a room with a cat, that cat's like, oh, he's here, whatever. You know what I'm saying? They don't care, bro.
Right.
But I think they can be compassionate. I just
Right.
I just never spent too much time with a cat, so I'm
Right.
gonna say dog.
All right. Good. 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 All right. Cardio or weights?
Cardio, weights. Um, you know, I feel like for me, I'm gonna say cardio, because that just makes me think of like endurance,
Mm-hmm.
having the ability to that stamina whole thing. Not to say that weights doesn't do that, because where I feel like weights is beneficial in terms of dancing
Mm-hmm.
is creating strength, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that is going to help your dancing look solid, whether it be upper body strength, your core, your legs. All of those components are necessary from an aesthetic point of view. Like, a person just looks solid when they have, the strength to execute. It gives you the ability to go soft, or stiff or whatever, because you have that strength, that solidness. um but like in terms of the cardio, because there was points in times where we were doing 3 shows a night, and these
Mm.
shows were like 90 minutes. Now, we weren't dancing the whole 90 minutes like straight through. I personally
Mm-hmm.
didn't, but it was enough dancing that was like, yo, after the third show and the weekend, man, we took that whole 2 days to rest, to recuperate. But
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been able to pull that off if I didn't have the stamina that was provided through the cardio of dancing. So I
Yep.
don't know. I hope that helps.
Yep. Yep. For sure.
Right on,
Cardio,
man.
baby.
Basketball,
Basketball or football?
football. Um, I think I'm gonna lean a little bit more towards the basketball, just because I appreciate the art that I have seen people express through basketball. The
Mm.
like dribbling, the
Mm-hmm.
crazy stuff that I see these basketball, like these players do. Like, you take and one for instance.
Oh yeah.
It's like, with football, it's a team sport, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you can do one on one, but with basketball, it's like when you go that one on one, you could see like it's really like a boxing match, or like a martial
Mm.
arts match. It's just like who got the better handles or the better shot, like being out. And I'm not saying that one has more skill than the other one. I just, from my personal point of
Mm-hmm.
view, what resonates more with me is basketball, because I feel
Mm.
like it's for me, it's a little more artful,
Yeah.
aesthetically. Not to say that football is not an art, it is an art,
Right.
everything is an art when you look at it deeply, like, you know, microscopically, everything can
Right.
really be considered an art. But like, you know, just kind of first impression type of thing, I think basketball kind of takes it from me. And I'm not
Right.
even a
Right.
basketball player. I just like watching it.
Yeah. Yeah. So now, so from your opinion, do you have a favorite team or favorite player that you like to watch right
For a
now?
minute, like back in the day, it was like the Knicks, but like I'm past all that favorite team. There was a point in time where we were traveling so much I couldn't even keep up with basketball. So now I just watch the players play. Like there's good people on both sides. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
just like
Mm-hmm.
watching to see how, you know, what if one guy wins or one team wins and another, it doesn't really matter to me. I'm just watching the interaction as a whole and watching like, ooh, that was dope what he did on that
Yeah.
side. Ooh, did you see how he juked him on this side? So it's
Yeah.
really like, you know, I'm just watching it from a whole, like a zoomed out point of view.
Yeah.
Not really
Yeah.
any favorite players though.
Got it. All right. Horror comedy.
Ooh, I'm gonna go with comedy
Yeah.
because after I get done watching horror, I definitely gotta watch comedy, so I don't take that junk to bed with me.
Now, what's your favorite? Like, you have a favorite comedian right now?
Oh, I'm gonna say Dave Chappelle all day. If Dave Chappelle ran for
Yeah.
president, I will vote for him, bro.
There you go. Yeah.
Straight up,
He has a very good intelligence behind his stuff too, right?
he's a genius. He is a genius, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
So crazy. It's like,
Yeah.
how do you? And he's a veteran. He's an OG. You can see
Yeah.
it, man. Like
You're right.
when you look at somebody and you just start smiling and they ain't even said nothing yet, you already just know that person is that they dope. Their energy is dope.
Yeah.
You know, Dave does
Yeah.
that for me. Like I
Yeah.
just, you know, I know he's not a funny man all the time. I just appreciate him because what I see, it feels like he's just a very genuine, real person. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And so that's what I appreciate about Dave Chappelle.
Yeah. I agree with you.
You know,
All right. Dine
uh,
in or delivery?
dine in or delivery. I'm gonna say, I think from time to time, I think for the most part, I like to dine in. When it's time to you know, when we get sick of eating mom's cooking at home, we'll
Yeah.
go out. But the
Yeah.
experience, the core memories that we get from just sitting down at a little restaurant and, you know, the
Yeah.
kids like being able to order their own thing. And I'm just really
Yeah.
coming from a family point of view now.
Right.
Being able to dine in and just kind of have that experience is, you know, my kids love it. We could do delivery and just stay at the house, but then we just at the house that much more. You know what I mean? Dine in gives us the chance to get out the house and
I think
have
so.
some family time.
Now, what's the now? How long have you been in Vegas now?
Since 2010. So what? We 11 years
Okay.
now.
Okay. Okay. So, do you have a favorite, or your kids? Do they have a favorite restaurant there in Vegas?
They go crazy. They go crazy when we go to pho. Either
Oh yeah.
pho or what is it? Man, you know what? My kids' taste is so like eclectic, bro. They'll do Thai, they'll do Ethiopian, they'll do
Mm,
Japanese,
mm.
like Chinese. We'll expose them to all stuff. What gets them crazy is pho. Yeah, when we say pho, they be
Huh?
like, "Yo!"
Yeah.
They'll take pho
Would that
anytime.
be would that be your one of your favorite too?
Yeah, I would have to
Yeah.
say that. That and Mexican food. I love Mexican food, bro.
Mm,
Enchiladas, man. Dang,
mm.
bro. Freaking
Nice.
empanadas, bro. Stop it.
All right. All right. Mayo or mustard?
Ooh. I'm gonna say I like mustard for the tanginess. You know what I
Okay.
mean? I'm down
Yeah.
with that. Mayo is it's a nice little compliment. It's very subtle, but
Yeah.
mustard says, "Hey, I'm here."
Yeah.
You know? So I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Mustard. Taco burrito.
Ooh.
Now
I'm gonna
this is
say
a
taco.
taco.
Taco is so simple to me. I mean,
Yeah.
especially like the reference for taco that I'm thinking
Yeah.
is the little street tacos, man. You got the
Yeah.
little
The street
tortilla,
tacos.
throw your
Yeah.
little things in. Bro, I can mash like 6 of them bad boys.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And then just take a little break and go back for like another 3 or 4 tacos.
There you go.
And it's too easy. Too
Yeah.
easy. Same thing with a burrito, but I think a taco is just like a little more like ta ta ta. You good. You know?
Yeah. Good. Salsa or bachata?
What's bachata?
It's another style of dance that's very similar.
Bro. I thought you was talking about salsa like chips and salsa.
Oh. Yeah, because we just tacos and burritos.
Like, bachata? I want to taste that. What's bachata? I would have to see bachata. I don't know. So I'm going to have to pick salsa for now. Because I at least see salsa. I know what that is.
Right,
and,
right.
Know, shout out to the Latin dance. It's very, very erotic type, exotic.
Right.
Car or truck?
Yeah, car or truck.
Now, I have a car, but I'm going to say a truck really does like the utility. It's a little more flexible, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't own a truck. I got a van, so I can fold the seat down, which is kind of like a truck.
Yeah.
And a car at the same time. So
yeah.
I'm going to have to. But then again, like I said, when I'm driving, I like my little Type R. So I'm going to say car. I'm going to say car.
Okay.
I'm going to go with that one.
Motorcycle or bicycle?
I don't have a motorcycle. But I would say motorcycle, and I'm only saying that because like the baby brother of a motorcycle is like a little moped, and the time that I spent when we went to the Philippines, how we got around was the little moped, and I loved it, bro. I wanted to get one while we was here in Vegas, but they drive too crazy out here. So, but I will say motorcycle because I think it's very dope.
Right. Now that's pretty huge in Asia, right? Mopeds.
Yeah.
It's very convenient.
Yup.
Get around very quickly.
Man, I saw 4 people on a moped, bro.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it was weird. A whole family on a moped. Mom, dad, 2 kids.
Bro, that was me and my family before we moved here, dude.
That's what's up. So you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. My dad was driving. I was right behind him, and behind me was my mom.
Yeah.
And my little brother was in front, sitting on the gas tank. Yeah.
I'm telling you, bro, you make it work. That is the epitome of like that is just like, I don't even know the word of it, but when I see that, it just it makes me have appreciation for just life, for everything. You get what I mean? And that it don't necessarily mean that a person is struggling just because you see 4 people on a moped. That's a choice. You'd be like, yo, we could have had 2, but we all just wanted to fit on one. But it could have been a necessity. It could not have been a necessity. But at the same time, like what I'm looking at is just gratitude. Just like, man, you really, what you think you need, you don't really need that.
Right. Yeah, you're right. Because at the time,
you can make do.
We didn't, so I grew up in a little village in Taiwan, right? And, we weren't anywhere near cities. So the sight of cars weren't even familiar, so what we had, it was almost a luxury as well, So we didn't know that we were missing stuff. So, like what we had was perfectly fine. Like, yo, this works. So,
I feel like less is more sometimes, bro. Like real talk. Like I feel like when I go to the Philippines and I see how they get down over there, bro, I'm like, yo, I would love to live like this. It just feels less complicated. You know,
I feel the same way, man. Yeah, I feel the same. I feel like, I don't know, when the kids are out, I might just go somewhere in the Far East somewhere. Little Bali or whatever. I don't know. And live simple, like a little moped or bicycle.
And that would be the life.
Yo, man, let's go and we'll be neighbors there, man.
Let's go. That's what's up.
Yeah. All right. Funny or smart?
Ooh.
Now, two ways to look at this, right?
It is definitely 2 ways to look at it. But I think the mind thing, that's what I gravitate towards. Is like if someone could kind of keep the wit, like, but then that also has a little bit to do with funny,
Yeah.
I don't know, being a guy too, I might be predisposed to a certain thing. You ask my wife this, she'll probably just say funny,
Yeah.
because you know what laughter does to a person. You
Mm.
know, I'm just saying I think it has probably more of a lasting impression than maybe somebody that's smart. Somebody that's smart can be intimidating. You know what I'm saying, to some
Mm.
people, but
Mm.
a funny person can really just warm a whole room. You know what I mean? So I'm
Yeah.
gonna say funny.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yep.
think there's a certain sense of intelligence to being funny as well, right? You gotta
Very true.
there's a smartness to it. Like we just talked about Dave Chappelle, right? He's
Absolutely.
really smart, really
Absolutely.
intelligent with his humor. And
Yes.
smart doesn't necessarily imply funny. So
Correct.
I like your
Correct.
answer, right?
Yeah.
Funny, yeah,
Correct.
yeah,
Yeah, it's a collaborative, because I agree with you. I agree exactly what you're saying.
yeah, yeah. All right. Money or free time?
Ooh, free
This is that
time, bro.
free time.
Because I think out of free time, you can create opportunities that can sustain money, or that
Mm-hmm.
what do you say, acquire, obtain money.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
Time is the most precious commodity. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And so,
Yeah.
like, having when we're thinking of concept like time, really money can be birthed through time. You can't birth time from money.
Mm.
It can't
Yeah.
happen the other way around.
Right. Right. Let me really think. Is it
Mm-hmm.
possible? Is it possible that if you
Mm-hmm.
have so much money, can you create more time?
Now that we're talking about it, so like, if you had all your bills paid and all of this other, like, all of the things that would tie you down, right? Financial freedom can definitely do that for you, which means money. So when you have this money, you can create more time. You can have more
Mm.
time because
Mm-hmm.
you're not trying to work to obtain money for something. If you already
Mm-hmm.
have it, then you can kind of just freely move about. So I mean, and I think the reason why I'm just automatic, like, not necessarily gravitate towards money, because money's not everything, but in this society, you definitely need that junk in order
Yeah.
to get through. You know,
To
in
get through.
this
Yeah.
society, we were just talking about the Philippines and stuff like that. Yeah, money, but they figured some things out. You know, of course they
Mm-hmm.
could deal with more money. Like, more money is definitely going to be helpful,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not the driving force. You know, I guess it depends on how a person, like, perceives money, how they're going to use it. For me, it's just a resource that can enable you to do more things. If you
Yes.
have, you can give. If you don't
Yes.
have, then you can't give. And you can have so much free time and no money, but you can't do nothing for somebody. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, I guess that's kind of a tricky one, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's both. Yeah,
It's both.
I
Yeah.
appreciate the challenge on that one.
Yeah. This is all right. This one a little
Ooh,
philosophical. I don't know. Blue or red?
right.
Whatever
Shout out
that
Snoop Dogg.
represents.
Shout out Snoop Dogg and the game. You know what I mean? No, I'll just play. I
Yeah.
had to take it there. I like red. Red is the energy of red. I
Mm.
appreciate it. For some reason, it resonates with me.
Mhm.
For some strange reason, I mean, and it wasn't always this way. I think what changed it is, at one point in time, for our show Prism,
Mhm.
this was over at the Luxor. We wanted to the theme was light. It was all about light. And then we understand the characteristics of light, is broken up into the Roy G. Biv: red,
Okay.
orange, yellow. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
so that's the spectrum of light. And so you take light and you separate it, and now you got these 7 characters that are these colors. And I happen to get red. And at first, red wasn't really on my radar, but then after being red for a while, and then other costumes being red, and red just kind of started popping up in my environment, I just
Mm,
started to be like, oh, red is kind of cool.
mm.
So red kind of became one of my favorite colors after having all those different interactions with it.
If I remember correctly, I think that's the captain of the Power Rangers.
Oh yes, the Red Ranger. That's the guy.
Ranger.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
dope.
That's cool. Now, for me, looking at this, every time I ask this,
Mm-hmm.
different things pop out, and obviously, I always think Skeet because he's a Crip, so he's
Oh,
always playing
okay.
with that, right? Yeah, so it's all about the blue.
Yep.
And he would
Yep.
make he would just make fun of anybody that wears red.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
It's I just had dinner with Kid Boogie, and he told me about the
Uh-huh.
first time that Skeet came up to him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Skeet,
Mm-hmm.
Skeet was playing around, but
Mm-hmm.
he's a big guy. He could be very intimidating. He came up to him.
Yes.
He's like, "Yo, what up with that blood life, man?"
Yeah.
And then because he was wearing red, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Kid
yeah.
Boogie he's like, he was scared, and then he's like, "Ah, man,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just joking." But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, he was all about that blue. He was all about that
Yeah,
blue,
man.
man.
Yo.
But then also, it's kind of funny. You look at how
Mm.
our uh, our political system, blue or red,
Yeah.
right? Democrats
Oh yes,
versus
that's right. That's right. That's right.
Republicans.
Red and blue.
You know,
It's like, what the heck?
it's
This is true.
it's kind of crazy. But and then you know what? I thought back to I went to Cal, and our
Mm-hmm.
color was blue and gold, and our
Mm-hmm.
rivals was Stanford, and Stanford was
Oh,
red.
Zephyr's
So
red. Yep.
it was kind of crazy how like, wow, why is
That
red and
cardinal red.
blue like?
Yeah, yeah.
Why are
They
they?
always pitting that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel that.
Now you said Roy G. Biv, right?
Yes, sir.
Roy R is at the end of the spectrum. At the other end, it's not blue though.
No. No, it's not. It goes red, orange, yellow, Roy, green,
And
blue,
then blue.
indigo, and violet. You know what's
Violet,
crazy?
yeah.
Because blue and indigo, well, they're classified as separate colors,
Okay.
but it's a family of blue. You get what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
They kind of next to each other. There's blue and then there's indigo.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's kind
Mm-hmm.
of red, orange, yellow, blue, indigo, and violet. And that's the or green, blue, indigo, violet.
Right.
Those,
Yeah.
that's the 7-1. So you got violet, which is like purple, which is like blue and red together, right?
Oh, yeah.
Then you have
That's the
red.
mixture.
You have red over here, and then purple's over here. At least that's. I don't know if that's really the. I gotta look at the rainbow, see how it really just kind of prism.
But yeah. All right. We're gonna move forward. Okay. Tupac or Biggie?
Ooh. I just recently watched that Notorious B.I.G. documentary.
Okay.
I listened to a lot of New York music, like rappers coming up, but it was like native tongue, like Tribe Called Quest, Black Sheep, Smith and Wesson, Black Moon, that genre, Jeru the Damager, Gangstar, that type of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tupac, I think he was a little, I don't know, I just didn't really gravitate towards that at the time, during Tupac's time. I guess we all respect the legends after they're gone.
Yeah.
And I didn't really listen to Biggie like that though, too, because that was more like, that was a different genre of music I was into. I like the boom bap, Jay Dilla, that type of stuff, right? That was just different. But later on, like I said, now listening to Biggie going back, I was like, yo, this dude was amazing. I'm so sorry that I didn't really appreciate him while he was there, because lyrically he was killing, bro. Amazing MC. And then you already know G, bro. He was about it, bro. So Tupac, I won't deny it. I'm a straight vibe, you know what I'm saying? So that little gangster, that vibe, that I appreciate, that's that Tupac side that I got from G. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I can appreciate Pac right now. I know I'm late bloomer with that,
Yeah.
But it's kind of hard. I would say I like them both now, because if I'm giving them both the opportunity in my life right now, and I appreciate them both.
Yeah, when Pac was big, I remember G would just choreograph to both of them, right? Like it would, you know,
Okay.
and we talked about this. Every time we're in the car, G pops in whatever album he has, and he would just
What's the
start
material?
just like his mind would just start creating, you know.
Yeah.
And of course, Pac's album, like almost every song was like, oh man, that's a new piece right there, you know. And Biggie's when Biggie's album came out, it was like, damn, dude, damn. Like it's almost like every song that he listened to, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna create something. And you're like, man, this is the best song ever. It's because of the visual that G would bring. You know, he'll choreograph. I mean, man, if TikTok
you started to love the music because of the dancing. Yeah, that's dope.
Right. I mean, if TikTok or YouTube was popular when he started it, he would have been like,
for sure,
you know, like #1 viral all the time, like every new song
material.
Right. And he comes out with it so freaking fast. Like I see a lot of choreographers today, you know, they probably spend days choreographing and rehearsing that stuff.
Yeah, my process is hard. It's challenging for me too, man. I think I'm like, gee, how did you do that, bro? I still don't get it.
Right. Yeah, this guy is just super amazing. He choreographs in his head, and he's ready to teach it.
Yeah,
that's unheard of. I don't know anybody that could do that.
I've seen that. Yeah, like you said, making up material, driving to the spot. It's like, and he's just listening to it and just visualizing it. And I don't know, man. That was his mutant ability for sure.
I mean, anybody out there that's listening to us talk right now, you know, and if you know G, you know exactly what we're talking about. And if you don't have the luxury, if you're not fortunate enough to meet him, trust us when we say that. I don't know anybody that can do that. You know, I love my big brothers, my my Electric Boogaloos families. They don't do that. They'll teach, they'll choreograph on the spot, but they don't remember like 12 8 counts of stuff all in their head and be able to teach that.
That's crazy.
I don't know anybody that could do that.
Yeah, that's wild.
Incredible. I mean, to this day, KB, of all the success that you have and all the people that you run into, can you name somebody that comes close to what G could do?
Not even, bro. I have not seen anybody do that before.
Yeah. It's crazy
like
how
that. At least they're not sharing it with me. If somebody got material, they didn't say, oh, I just made this up on the way over. I've never witnessed anybody do that except for G. And I've tried to do it. And it's just like, I don't know how he could do something like that. That's hard, you know? And it was good. And it was, okay, so it's one thing to just make material, right? But it was actually really good material, though.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like good, like, dang, this is dope.
Yeah, I mean, oftentimes I would create stuff on the spot, right?
Yeah.
But then 3 minutes later, I'm like, no, we got to change that. That wasn't good.
Yeah. Right. Same here. I know exactly.
But G is like, he's so freaking fast in his mind. It's crazy, unbelievable. Yeah, that's why there's this is not like a charity thing. This is truly respect. Game recognized game, and it's like
100%.
Our sensei for sure, right?
Yes. Yes.
You just it's not like it. You basically you're like, wow, we just bow down. We bow down to him. That's just how much you know. We could be tough, like if you're the best in your city, if you know you bad, you know you break, you pop, whatever. You're the best in your city, but when you see somebody that's just that much better than you. You just got to throw your hands up and be like, yo.
You got to, bro. Like, you got to. And that's what G was. G was that talent. He was that guy. Yeah. It was for me. You know what I mean? I realized, I was like, okay, you just showed me what trajectory I want to be on right now. Like, I didn't realize what was possible until I saw you just do what you did right now. Thank you for opening up my mind. Like, this boy unplugged me from the Matrix. You get what I'm saying? Right. He was like, you can stop bullets too, KB. I'm like, what? How do you do that? You know? He was already, he'd been stopping bullets. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, G was definitely, you cannot deny that.
That's G, baby. That's G.
Yep,
Bro, we are at
100%.
the end of this section. I want to really appreciate you for putting in your thoughts and wisdom into these questions. It is amazing.
Yes,
And I
sir.
hope everybody that's
Yes, sir.
listening got so much out of it, because I certainly did, man.
I appreciate you, bro.
Man,
This is
this is
dope.
I'm looking back. I'm like, wow, we over 2 hours. To me, over 2 hours, and hopefully
Oh,
everybody that's listening really
dang,
appreciates
bro,
this.
for real.
But for sure, I need to have you back, because there's so much that we
Yes.
that we haven't talked about, because when we're we talked about the age of samurais. I mean, there's so many things
Oh,
that we talked about before, right?
yeah.
And I want to get into like
Yeah.
the philosophy of things, but I feel like we're
Oh,
gonna have to
yes.
really cut it this time, and next time we're gonna chop it
Okay.
up even more. So,
Let's go. I'm down.
brother, I
Hey,
appreciate you, but I
you know how
want
to
to
get a hold of me, bro. Let's go.
I know, but I do want to leave the leave the people with this. Is it cool if I share your Instagram for anybody that want to follow KB
Please
right
do.
here? Is Instagram the best way to get a hold of you?
Yeah, I mean that's how. Yeah, or you can. I have. You can either go
Let's
to,
see.
yes,
This is
Tao
good,
underscore
right?
Kundo. That's me. Also,
That's
I
that.
got like a little Shopify website type of thing where you can reach out for coaching, and that's
Okay.
beatkundo.com. So you see the word
Oh, okay. It's
beat,
right. It's
beat
right here,
kundo.
actually, right?
Yep,
It's
beatkundo.com.
bikundo.com. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, interested in some training, or I got a guy that pretty much our sessions is he just picks my brain. We just talk. I mean, I give him dance stuff, but
Mm-hmm.
mostly what he wants, that he feels is more beneficial, is just being able to collide with my energy, the creativity, my experience. He's really just tapping in that way. And at first it was a little different for me, because I'm like, I want to add value. I want to provide value for people. So it's like, yo, let me give you these keys and these tools that I have for unlocking the dance. But I also
Mm-hmm.
realized that, like, the keys and tools that he was looking for was more just like creative inspiration, just talking
Mm-hmm.
about certain things. And so it's just like it's interesting how people will leverage the coaches. So I'm open to it. You want to just sit
Yeah.
and talk and chill and just ask me about my experience, or get tips on how to do whatever, yo, it's all good. Just hit me up. But
Perfect.
those are the best
Now,
ways to contact me.
is this only for people that lives in Vegas, or let's say somebody from somewhere in the world, other than the US, that wants to hit you up and
Mm.
virtually? Are you open to
Oh,
coaching people
yes.
virtually?
That's
Okay.
that's that's how it's been Zoom. It ultimately started because of the pandemic, so I
Okay.
had to figure out how to get into that space, and I did. So it's the Zoom. So yeah, so it doesn't matter where you're at on the planet, hit me up. We can coordinate our time zones. That
Yeah.
works. Maybe I gotta be up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and it's
Yeah.
3 o'clock your time. I don't know. We'll figure it
Yeah.
out. But
Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
Guys, this is amazing. For anybody that's out there listening, you got KB of the
Hey,
Jabbawockeez that is
that's what's up.
open to do private lessons with you. This is
Yeah.
almost, that's unheard of, right? This is like, back in the days, if we were, starting off, right? And
Right.
imagine like a Pop and Pete or a Wiggle
Oh,
saying,
yeah, bro.
hey, hit me
I would have
up,
been on that. I would have
this
definitely
is
been on that.
this opportunity is open up to you guys. So for sure, guys,
That's
you
what's
can
up.
see it right here. It is beatkundo.com. That's
That's right. That's right.
BeatKunedo.com. And you're
Yeah.
able to hit up KB for private lessons.
Yeah.
That's incredible. That's
Right
incredible,
on, brother.
bro.
I appreciate you.
Thank you so much for your time, man.
This is one of many, my bro.
I
I
love you,
appreciate you.
man. I
I
love
love
you,
you too,
man.
brother Siege. Thank you, man. We got history, man. I
We
appreciate you.
got, yeah. This is
Yes.
family for sure, guys. I
100%.
appreciate everybody that's tuning in right now. For sure, I'm gonna bring him back. We're gonna set up some more future dates, and I hope you
Absolutely.
guys had a good time enjoying this, brother. Once again,
Man.
thank you.
I
And
appreciate you, brother Seach. Love you, bro.
love you,
Let's
love
get
you.
up.
All right,
All
guys,
right.
we are out. See you next time. Peace.